feel? Dirty South, dirty, dirty. Can y'all really feel? I got the East Coast feel, West Coast feel. Dirty South, dirty, dirty. Can y'all really feel me? Feel it. East Coast feel. Say what?
Hey guys, and welcome back. It's me, Lydia Marie. Welcome back to my channel. Today, you guys, I have a subscriber requested video. They wanted to know how to do a routine using no foundation, only concealer. I love that. Concealer is the secret weapon in my makeup routine because it's concentrated, it's thicker, it's meant to correct, conceal, all the good things. So I have two concealers that I'm going to be using today. One that is a brightening concealer and one concealer that looks closer to my skin tone. Does it look like I have on foundation? Does it? But I don't. So clock it, y'all. I'm so excited to do this video. I often wear concealer only some days just because I'm lazy and I don't feel like putting on a full face of foundation, but that's what concealer is for. It's meant to cover up those little imperfections and things like that and make you just look finished and complete. So we're going to do a quick tutorial today showing you how I like to utilize my color corrector, where I place it, how I do my powder afterwards and everything. And we're going to get a full face without using foundation. So if you want to see this tutorial, keep watching. Hi again to my new subscribers. I see y'all. I appreciate you so much for joining the beauty fam, and hi to my ride or die since day one. I see y'all too. Hey girl, hey. Welcome back, y'all. Let's get into this tutorial. So I'm going to get in nice and close. So when I'm doing a tutorial or a look where I'm not using foundation, the first thing I do is obviously prep my skin with my skincare, which I did. I'm wearing my Merit serum on my face. I had a little bit of Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enrich primer and a moisturizer under my eye. And then I have on the Milk Hydro Grip primer, and it's nice and tacky. So what I like to start with is color correction first, then my under eye concealer. And my under eye concealer is a little bit brighter, so I'm going to do the brightening portion first. So I'm going to start with color correction here, and I'm going to highlight with my brighter concealer down the bridge of my nose, on my cupid's bow, on my chin, and right here above my brows, because those are the highest points of my face, and I want to make sure those are highlighted and that they stand out, but that they're also covered from any of the dark circles. So let's start with color correction and concealer. I've been doing this little trick I saw another artist friend of mine do with blending out the concealer and the color correction for my under eye, and I'm just going to tap that in first, and this is going to work as the color correction portion of the program. And brown, if you use something orange cancels out brown, so that's why I use orange under my eyes and for my hyperpigmentation as well. I'm just tapping that in with my finger. So first things first, I added my color correction, and I added a bright orange one in. Normally I add in a more peach, but this is the bright orange one from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I'm just color correcting, and I want my color correcting to be on point because we're using concealer versus foundation, and concealer and color corrector, they go like that, hand in hand. So I will lay down this color corrector where my hyperpigmentation is, and it's orange because orange cancels out any brown. And I have a brown mark here from hyperpigmentation, acne scarring here, a little discoloration around my mouth. So whatever's left on here, I'm just tapping it in. I'm not swirling it, I'm just tapping it in with this type of brush. And this is going to serve as the color correction. I probably put too much over there, but I'm going to show you how I fix it. It's okay because this is just laying the base. Under my eye, I put a little bit of color correction and a dab of concealer, which is why it's more sheer, because we're still going to add concealer under the eye. So for my concealer, I'm still taking a light shade, and I'm going to highlight under my eye, and I'm going to highlight the high points of my face. So I'm going to go down the bridge of my nose. This is what I normally do, and I'm going to go into my cupid's bow right here. And I'm almost out of my LYS concealer. I guess I need to add that to my Sephora basket, and have some on my chin. This is a full coverage concealer, but it's about 1.5 shades lighter than what I would normally use. And I'm just going to add just a little bit right here. And do you see how that's placed right here? Don't worry about this. This is all going to be covered. But we're going to just highlight first. And I'm just going to add a little bit out here. You can either use a blending sponge to tap that in. I normally like to go in with a dense brush like this one, a short dense brush, a concealer brush, and start to tap it in and blend it this way, and then I go over it with a beauty sponge. So once you have your brightening concealer on, and you can see under my under eyes that I've concealed my circles on my under eyes, this is where you're gonna need your concealer that is closer to your skin tone. And I'm gonna be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch concealer. I'm not going to apply this like a foundation. I'm going to tap it because concealers, again, are very concentrated. So I'm going to tap it just a few places like that, where I still have color correction, and then I'm going to blend that in that way. You see how I have that covered? Now this is all going to be covered by the concealer. Taking a different concealer brush, this is the one from Fenty. It's kind of worn out, but you can see how it has the angle, and I'm just going to tap it in the same way. And then once it's tapped in, again, not swirling it like you would foundation, simply tapping it over the areas that you need the coverage. And then once it's all tapped in, I'm going to go over it with my damp beauty sponge and just press it into my skin. And you see how that just covered, that concealer and that color correction is covered. And this is what the concealer can do. And you notice that my hyperpigmentation focuses right here and right here on my cheek. So I would need to take this concealer all the way up and on my forehead. We're going to finish that off with a nice soft finishing powder. But just that little bit of concealer, those few dots, and pressing it in with a dense brush, that's what makes the magic of concealer. It looks like you're pulled together even without adding any type of foundation right now. So we are brightened up. We are covered up. I'm going to tap this in just a little bit under my eye. I can see that kind of in a crease. And whatever was left on the concealer brush, I took that and used it as eyeshadow primer. I just put it all over my lid. So this can also be a good way to prime your lids. And I'm just taking this damp sponge and pressing whatever is left on there. But you see how this is all concealed? Boom. So now we're going to move on to brightening up the places where I highlighted, which is here, under my eyes, here, and here. And for that, you want to use a translucent or a yellow. Ooh, I just spilled some of my powder. Oh, a translucent or a powder that's closer to, a little bit brighter, I'm sorry, than your skin tone. OMG, this powder is too expensive for me to be doing that. Hold on, y'all, let me fix this. And we're back. Okay, so for me in my drier under eye, I like to use a finely milled powder. This is one from Laura Mercier. This is in the shade Honey. This is their translucent powder. I take a little bit on my muff, and y'all know this trick. Instead of just applying it straight to my face, I take a little bit on my hand, get that about much, and then I just kind of press it right into my under eye. I personally do not bake, meaning put the powder on, let it sit for a few minutes, and then brush it off, because again, mature skin under eye. I personally do not bake. I just like to set it, and then you have about that much left, and you do the same with the other eye. Just kind of go in like that. And plus, I felt like this method helps your makeup not cake or look as cakey when you kind of take some of that powder off. But if you like to bake, go ahead, honey, bake away. it's just not something that my skin appreciates. And I'm going to do the same thing here, and just down the bridge of my nose. Now that my under eye is set and my concealer is on, before I go in and add my finishing powder, I'm going to give my face a spritz with some finishing or some setting spray, not just for hydration but also to set in everything before I go around with the powder brush. So give me a nice good spritz. This is my Sephora makeup setting spray. I cannot believe you should see the mess that this powder made right in front of me. I am like, I really wish they would come up with a better formula on how to open these without spilling them, but that's my clumsy fault. So let's move on to setting your whole face with a micro smooth powder. I like to use a powder that's not too heavy, so I wouldn't do this heavy concealer like this and then go in with a foundation powder. You can, but for me personally, when I'm doing a look without foundation, without liquid foundation, I like to use a powder that's a little bit more, that'll give you like the airbrush finish is what I'm trying to say, not the micro smooth, but a powder that's going to give me an airbrush finish to continue on with that no makeup, no foundation type of look. One of my favorite powders to use is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder. I have the shade Medium Deep. I like this powder not only because it gives you a light airbrush finish with your concealer, but also this shade is going to give me the it's going to eliminate any lines of demarcation that I can still see between the concealer color corrector and my skin tone. So this is just going to even everything out for me and just give me a nice polished finished look. I take my brush, a big fluffy powder brush. You can either tap it in like so, or you can swirl it in, either way. And then I'm just going to tap mostly in the areas where I did not apply translucent powder. And you can see how that just gives you a fantastic finish. Let's do this side so we can really get this part under control. There we go. Much better. See how that just smoothed things out? Perfect. To bring a little color and shape back to my face now that I've concealed, color corrected, and powdered myself down, I'm going to go in with a cream product. And this is the Makeup by Mario Sculpting Enhancer. I'm almost out of that too, so I may get this in the Sephora sale as well. I don't know. I'm trying to hit pan on a lot more things, but I'm just going to take some of that. This is a very sheer product, so it's not going to interfere with the sheerness, the cover up of the concealer. I wish I could talk today. You get what I'm saying though, right? I'm just going to take some of that and place it where I would my contour / bronzer and just take it around and blend that in. Once I have it patted in. And that's just going to give me a little bit of shape, a little bit of highlight, but mostly some bronzing. I think this is in the shade Medium. This is the shade Medium. And I enjoy this because it is sheer, so I could just go like that once it's placed. And it still won't take away from any blush or bronzer that I add afterwards. That's that. I took a couple drops of the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Happy. It's a nice pinky color. And this brush is probably too soft to blend that out, but that's okay. I'm just pressing that into the skin. This is a very nice liquid blush. I don't know what Selena does with these blushes, baby, but they are just fantastic. The way her and Danessa Myricks blush got me just, whew. They have a faithful companion in me, I gotta tell you. Just adding a little bit of color right on top of that Makeup by Mario. Boom. For eyeshadow, I'm going to keep it nice and simple and dip into one of the metallic shades from the Anastasia Fall Romance palette. And I think I'm going to go in with this shade Smoke and just kind of pop that right on my lid. Nothing too crazy today. We're just going to do this. I'm not even going to do like a transition shade. I'm just going to give me a little bit of, ooh, that is so pretty. Oh my gosh, this palette is everything. A little bit of that. Oh, that's so pretty. That's such a pretty color. Look at that. Tell me that's not perfect for just like a soft, easy makeup look. And I just put it all over my lid. Oh, that's so pretty. For my lip, I'm going to keep it nice and soft. I've really been enjoying doing the Megan Thee Stallion lip combo from the Renaissance World Tour, where she had on the chocolate lip liner and this lipstick from Revlon in the shade 755. I forget the name of it, but it's the number 755. And I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to do chocolate lip liner though, but I'm just going to do a new lip liner. And I think it's called Own It. That's the name of it. But anyway, this is what it looks like. And this nice new lip. And that's that. That's my no foundation routine. On the days that I don't wear foundation, I just do a little concealer, color correcting, and add on the rest of my accoutrement. And this is the final face. I think that looks gorgeous. This is a very pretty everyday kind of look. It looks like I'm just fresh and awake. Doesn't look like I'm too made up. It's not super glam, but it's still very well put together. Not bad. So I hope that you have enjoyed this quick tutorial of just using concealer and color corrector in place of foundation. Again, I can't stress it enough. Concealer is your secret weapon in your makeup arsenal. If you don't have anything else, you need a good brightening concealer, and it's concealer that's closer to your skin tone, because concealer is going to do so much more, and a little bit goes a long way. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. I really like how this look. I'm about to go get in some pictures or something. Go take a few selfies or something like that. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you want to see anything else. Again, these videos have been pre-recorded because I'll be on medical leave for a good 4 weeks, but I will answer your questions and comments as soon as I can. Leave me a comment down below. Thanks again for hitting that thumbs up and that like, and hello again to my new subscribers. I'll see y'all back here real soon. Bye.